Hello little hoes, my name is Kristen and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a book review of sorts, a book straight out of 1976. Now, I came across this book, The Exotic Plant Manual, 4th edition by Alfred Beard Graff, on the very hoarded, crowded bookshelves at my work. I thought it would be fun to sort of feature some of the categories in this book on today's video just to kind of show you what was popular in 1976. Now, this book is quite extensive in the exotic tropical plants that it talks about. I won't be showing all of them, but rather highlighting a few genera and sections that I think are particularly interesting or relevant. And I think it's very pertinent and relevant to show you some of these sections because they are plants that are quite popular today, even in some cases considered rare or uncommon. I think it's important to pause here and reflect. This book is from 1976. The plants that we consider rare have been around for a long time and have been cultivated and grown even as houseplants for decades. They are nothing new, and it's just because there are ebbs and flows in popularity of plants. What's popular today might not be popular tomorrow. I think it's also important to note that because of this ebb and flow, what is very expensive and hard to come by might not be down the road. I understand and I sympathize and I totally agree. It's kind of frustrating as a plant collector when you've been into plants for a long time and suddenly the plants' prices are jacked up through the roof. And yes, there are plant gougers out there charging exorbitant prices, unfair prices. But also, my friends, if you can wait, the price very likely will go down. And I've seen it time and time again with plants. I've only been into houseplants the last few years, but I've been into plants since my teens, and I have been pretty much working nursery, retail nursery, or in the industry my whole working adult life. Trust me when I tell you, what is brand new, squeaky, shiny, fun, and trendy now will not be in a year, or 2 years, or 3 years. If it's not a plant on the brink of extinction, then it will be available later on. This book is kind of just the proof of that. It doesn't really give prices or talk about how common or accessible they are to the home gardener, but the fact is if they made a book all about these exotic plants and don't mention the word rare all that often from what I'm reading. Let's dive into it. I will kind of read a few sections that I think are interesting, and again, we'll put up some of the pictures on screen along the way. Alright guys, so this just goes over some basics of the Aroids, which we'll be starting with first. Kind of goes into general care and growing indoors. But this section here I thought was interesting, and I'm going to read it out. Most Aroids are very handsome with showy foliage in interesting forms. Palmate or pinnate leaves are common, and series of holes or perforations are typical in monsteras. It must be noted, however, that the character of the leaf in many genera changes from juvenile to adult or fully grown stage. For this reason, leaves of seedlings or developing from joint cuttings may look very different from the typical size and form when reaching maturity and preparing to flower. This aging process can be sustained if top cuttings are used in propagation. The growing tip or meristem will then develop toward increasingly divided margins and perforations. I think that's pretty awesome. I've often wondered about that, especially when seeing more developed, mature plants being offered for sale. If those, more developed fenestrations and such will continue, if the more mature leaf will continue growing that way, or if it will revert more to a small juvenile form eventually. So I thought that was pretty cool. Moving on. Again, kind of just goes over some of the plants in the Aroids section here. Feel free to pause along the way if you want to look more closely. But right off the bat, guys, what do we see? Monstera obliqua. And I'm not quite sure if that is the true obliqua or not, but they do make mention of it. Now this page, I think, is reclassified as the thamophyllums, but in this case they call them the tree-type philodendrons. Look at the large leaves on this page. Gigantium. And I've got the Graziella. And my favorite from last year, Squamiferum. This is a cool page. Look, guys, Mame. And we've got Verrucosum gloriosum. And the plant that's top of my philodendron wish list right now, Burl Marks Fantasy, Soderoi, Melanochrysum, Micans, Elsmanii, and one that's newish to me, I had only heard of once before, the Andrianum. That guy's a cool one. And also, look at this. I hadn't heard of this species, the Philodendron martianum. Look at those chubby petioles. Who doesn't love a chubby petiole? And look, Florida compacta and Florida. Now, those are obviously just the green forms, but I believe probably the Florida Beauty, Variegated, and Florida Ghost were sports off of one of those. Interesting. I've never heard of the New Yorker one before. And I've never heard of that cross either. The Histatum imbi wendlandii. Looks like a triple interspecific cross there. Now this is a cool page. Look at how dissected all the plants are on this one. Lacerum radiatum elegans, which I have, or elegans. Or Schwezii. Alice, if you're watching, please correct my pronunciation of it. The tri-leaf types. Guttiferum, I have that one. I believe it might also be synonymous with Standleyana. Oh, this is cool too. Look at Rhaphidophora, lacinosa, or Monstera subpinnata, which I believe that's probably what it's called now. Rhaphidophora. Now this guy, I'm guessing Emydrium nowadays is what we call it. Philodendron pinnatolobum, which looks a lot like tortum to me. Decursiva? Oh, I killed you. I'm so sorry. Some syngoniums down here. More syngoniums, which I'm currently really in love with. Look at that one. That one's cool. I've never heard of the Ruth Fraser one. I have that guy, the Wendlandii.
Mine's still at the juvenile stage where it's just that single leaf and not the trilobe. Recently got that one, the erythrophyllum, which has the red on the backside, and Syngonium macrophyllum, similar to Chiopens, but not. And these guys here, interesting, are classified all as Scindapsus, including what we call nowadays the Epipremnums pothos. Look at that guy. Never seen that one. Let's see, look. Monstera stanleyana, or Guttiferum. Moving to the anthuriums, your more common ones, and your certainly uncommon ones. Look at that. Can't wait for my Veitchii to look like that, but he's so cute as a baby. I'm okay with it being slow. Queen Anthurium girls and boys. Clarinerviums, crystallinums, and magnificum. Look at those guys. I think some of these have been reclassified, like that one. Clavirgianum or something like that, it's now called. I have the Potato radiatum. Some more strappy ones, and oh, look at that one. Anthurium corrugatum. Some of the caladiums are nice. And looky here, guys, right in the middle of the page, Alocasia cuprea. And Amazonica, which we all know and love. Morphophallus. And look at this. That's a Cerestus. If ever I did see one. Looks like it was classified differently back in the day. And for my begonia fam out there, I am going to show you a few begonias. And again, it's not my favorite genre, so I'm probably going to go somewhat fast over this. Probably not much commentary. Luxurians. I actually kind of like that one. Holy leaves. Wax begonias. Does anyone really care about the wax or tuberous? I don't know. That's kind of cool. Look at that one. Interesting. Lettuce leaf. Okay. Kind of like him. And now a section for myself that I dearly love, and this is Ripsalis. Oh my, the drama queens of the world. So we're entering Califia and Tenanthe zone here, peoples. Different species name on it back in the day. Ornata. It's an actually pretty easy one to grow. Guys, entering the Holy Grail. Some of these were shown earlier, some of them were not. Look at the Albo Monstera, guys. And I think this is going to be a little bit more repeats. One thing I do want to focus on real quick. Vanilla. Variegated vanilla at that. Some jewel orchids. Now entering some interesting vines, guys. Cissus discolor and some awesome looking pipers. Wish I had better luck with piper. Look at all these Tradescantias and Calicias. I have to include, never seen that Dioscorea before. I have Dioscorea discolor. My Peperomia peeps, a quick peek at the pep page. Pages, I should say. And oh my gosh, this is a cool one. This is also on my current wish list, Dischidia imbricata. I really want one. Oh yeah, Ceropegias. It's my jam. Hygarthii. And then I have such awful luck with Hoya, but I will include it for you guys. The Hoya pages. Was that it? Oh look, Ballia volubilis. Got that. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit different. And that's about it for today. I will be talking to y'all soon. As always, stay healthy, sane, and safe. I will talk to y'all soon. Goodbye.